Peace be upon you. While watching an episode of the global TEDx program, I didn't expect it to leave such a profound impact on me. The episode discussed an environmental experiment carried out by a foreign country to reduce temperatures in areas suffering from extreme heat. At first glance, I assumed it would be about artificial cooling techniques or engineering tricks that do little to change reality, but I was completely mistaken. The experiment was real, grounded in science, based on careful planning and fundamentals in mind is before tools. What drew me to this experience was not merely the scientific success, human and social dimensions that accompanied it. Three aspects that stood out to me. Firstly, their, their success in actually lowering temperatures through research and collective effort. Secondly, their ability to dismantle the notion of the impossible and overcome mental barriers. Thirdly, their elevation of science as a tool for the nation, not for personal gain. Axis 1, Science in the Surface of the Earth. This experiment proved that climate change is not an inevitable fate, but is what you can say results of human accumulation that can be addressed if we probably understand their causes. It began with it began with precise studies that confirmed methane gas emitted from car exhausts and animal waste as one of the main contributors to rising temperatures, but instead ignoring these results and letting them remain confined to academic paper, real steps were taken on the ground. They began by regularly changing vehicle engine oils to reduce methane emissions, and they buried animal waste in the soil using well-studied agricultural methods that prevented gas release and established green spaces to help absorb carbon. All that steps, though simple, made a significant difference. The measures were neither luxurious nor miraculous, but scientific and well considered. What is particularly striking is that this success was not a stroke of luck, but the result of an institutional culture that respects scientific research and gives it a role in decision making. This is precisely what we lack in many Arab countries, where shared support for research is often absent, and researchers are marginalized in favor of improvised and individual decisions, not grounded in science or reality. Access to impossible is merely a notion. One of the greatest lessons that I learned from this episode is that impossible is nothing more than just a word we use when genuine belief in possibilities is missing. They didn't change the laws of nature, nor did they interfere with divine creation. But they addressed the artificial rise in temperatures caused by human activities, not the natural heat created by God. They proved that changing reality begins with changing how we perceive it. They understood that the problem was solvable and identified its roots, then channeled their energy and efforts into implementation. They didn't rely on excuses or shift focus to other issues, but faced this challenge seriously and treated it as a national priority. What I admired most was that the entire society became part of the solution. Government, individuals, institutions, and media all contributed to creating the right environment for applying the solutions. This is essential differences. It was not about extraordinary genius, but rather social harmony and collaboration among the components of the state. Axis 3. Education for the nation, not the self. What moved me most of all was that the perspective of students in that country helped towards education and higher studies. It was clear that they were not studying merely to obtain a job or secure a high salary or follow what their peers were doing, but they studied because the country needed them. Their academic specializations were a direct reflection of their country's needs and challenges. I imagine the first difference between someone who studies for his society and someone who studies solely for personal benefit. In our country, most students choose their fields of study based on three or four factors: personal interest, financial incentive, popular trends, or my friends chose that. Really, does someone ask, what does my country lack? What problem can I help solve? What impact will I leave after graduation? Really, someone asked for that. This difference in motivation creates significant difference in outcomes. The country featured in that episode, university graduates enjoy great respect because they contribute in improving reality. Meanwhile, in our own countries, okay, many graduates struggle to find jobs, and some are forced into careers that are related to their fields of study. The reason is not necessarily a lack of competence, but the absence of a shared national vision and a planning process aligned with status actual needs. I realized after this episode that passion for a field may not come at the start, it may develop later once persons understand the importance of what they are studying and its potential impact on their nation. This is a real life example that change is indeed possible when science meets willpower and when the nation becomes the goal rather than the self. I learned that addressing environmental crisis is not solely the responsibility for governments, but it begins with individual awareness and extends to public policies that support science and implement its outcomes. After this episode, I wish we could re-examine our approach to education and instill in our children the idea study for your country. Okay, study for your country. And I wished also our environment and real life challenges would become the focus of our researches and efforts, rather than remaining mere consumers of others' ideas. Perhaps we don't yet possess all the resources, but we have the minds, we have love for our country, and we have the dream. When we begin, okay, the path will open, no matter how difficult it seems at first. Thank you.